There you go.
Hi.
So, Natalie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Look at that. I didn't even know how to request to join a thing. I'm learning technology.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I'm doing good. Also, thank you so much for being here. It is so cool and awesome to have someone as talented and badass as you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Very,
So,
very kind.
Before we start, before we start real quick, I want to thank those who are watching right now. If you're watching this later on YouTube or watching this later on Spotify, make sure that you're following Natalie on all social media. Also, if it is your happy birthday, happy birthday. If you're having a good day, keep having it. And on to the interview now. So before we start, I have to give you a proper epic intro. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's fine. Let me show you. I try something new, so let's see what happens. There you go. Yeah, working. Yes. Cool. All right. So, started with the whole interview now. Tell me how your acting career started.
How did it start? Well, it's kind of funny. When I was 9 years old, I visited New York City, and I saw Cats on Broadway.
Cool.
I'm not making this up. And my life was forever changed.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. I still love cats. I don't care if that's a weird thing. I just saw it and I said, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I knew then. So, that year I got my first role in a show, in the high school show. I was like the little kid in the high school show. And then from there, I just continued doing theater and singing and any kind of like performing. That was my thing.
That is so amazing. And it's so interesting, right? That whenever that it just takes like one moment to suddenly click everything and you're like, I want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. And what were some of the challenges that you had when you were recently started with your career?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely lots of different challenges. My goodness. So I used to like mainly do theater full time, especially musical theater. And when I was doing musical theater, I would say that some of the challenges I was facing, I had some vocal challenges at the time with my thyroid and that. So I had moments of going on vocal rest while, still that was my career and that was my living, being on stage, but I was having to take care of my body, Self-care and health are things that come first, but when it's something you love and something that is your job and is paying the bills, that's how. And then, so 5 years ago I moved to LA, and then I've kind of transitioned more so into on-camera work. Yeah. So I would say a challenge for that is kind of transitioning into the work that I've learned on stage and then utilizing that for camera, because it's a very, very different type of medium.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's so amazing. That's so cool. And starting with your career on theater, so you were in Little Shop of Horrors. Tell me, was that like your first play, let's say? And like, what are some of the things that you learned from that first experience?
Yeah, so Little Shop of Horrors was definitely like one of my first professional paid shows. So not my first, but one of my first professionals, and I loved it. I had a blast. I played Audrey. They made me like a brunette Audrey. They were like, she's gonna look terrible as a blonde. So it was fun, and it was just so encouraging. I think I had just turned 21, and I got my first job where I was getting, or my second job where I was getting paid to do theater and do something I love, and audiences would come to see us. I was actually in South Dakota at the Black Hills Playhouse, and it was so funny. We would have Sturgis was happening at the time, so these like really big manly like motorcycle guys on their Harleys would come see us. We just love Little Shop of Horrors, and I just was like, man, theater is transcendent. Everybody loves it and enjoys it and appreciates it, and again, it was just like another moment of like, this is a part of me. Like, this is what I'm doing with my life,
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And it is really cool when you get the chance kind of to do what you love and also getting paid at the same time. Because I mean, even if it is starting, of course, and you're not receiving like that huge paycheck, still feels amazing, you know, like whenever you get like money of that, it's like a total different feeling, you know. And it's also so funny that for theater, it doesn't matter if you're like a hardcore biker or not. If you like it, you like it, you know.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to be able to do, you know, what you want to do, and then if you get to transition into making that your job, it's great.
Totally. And then you were in Miracle of Christmas, music of Denali, The Last Schwartz, and the Downtown of Abbey Experience. Tell me about those plays, but also about your characters.
Yeah, so lots of different plays. I guess it's been a while. So I used to work in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, doing a lot of theater, and I did some Christian theater over there, which was awesome. I'm Christian, so it was really great just to like do something I love and be able to just spread the word of God. And so Miracle of Christmas, I got to play Mary, which was just like, my goodness, like what a dream come true. I got to ride a donkey.
That's so cool.
So that was amazing, and like just like understanding everything she went through is like, I mean, just like so much to take in. So I love like, you know, trying to understand like what a character will go through and how they would handle it, and especially at those times. And I just had a lovely cast and director, and oh gosh, what else? So Music of Denali, I worked for what was it? Princess Cruise Lines and Helen. Oh my gosh, Princess Cruise Lines, and I'm blanking on the other one, but it was in Alaska. So I was living in Alaska at the time. Wow. I wasn't on the boat. But that was amazing. We had people from all over the world come see us. It was a lot of fun. It was a very improv heavy show. Yeah. So, and what was nice is I played two different characters. So depending on the night, I got to be kind of the fun, kind of silly character. And then the next night I was the ingenue type character. So that was good. And I'm trying to think, when I did The Last Schwartz, I did do that in LA. I was the comedic relief, did some comedic relief. So again, it's great with theater. You can be all kinds of different characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And also you get the chance to travel to so many different places, right? Which is super cool.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And I wonder, like, what are some of the techniques, or like what do you usually do in order to prepare a character? I mean, I know that depending on the character, you know, but like, what is like the main thing you usually do in order to set a character, or like to set you in the mood to play a character?
Yeah, so I mean, there's so many that, you know, us as actors, we've kind of learned along the way. But I would say like the one that I always put into play is I'm going to read the entire script. Okay. The first time through, just kind of like gauge what I'm reading, not really have my own opinion on it, read it through. And then the second time reading it through, you know, I always want to see like, what do other characters say about me? Yeah. What's their opinion about me? And then like, you know, what's the relationships between different characters based on that opinion? Because relationships are so important in acting, you know, like you might be this character, but you're gonna maybe treat somebody differently, you know, based on like how close you are with them or something like that. And then it's, you know, actors talk about objectives. So like, what do we want? What do we want in the show? What can we kind of get from our other scene partner? So, you know, stuff like that. And then breaking it down into, you know, we call it beats, kind of the shifts and that kind of thing. So that's how we do it. And then, you know, depending on the project, I can do, you know, if I really want to connect and it's maybe something I'm having a hard time connecting to, I'll do substitution. So maybe there's something in my life that, you know, I can't connect exactly to this, but what can I substitute? You know, what is close enough to that? So that's something that I'll definitely put into play.
And what would you say is like the key to make to make a relatable character?
You have to find yourself in it. There has to be there has to be a bit of you in it. Now I know like different characters, you know, they're all gonna be different. Like you don't want to just be yourself on everything. But like, you know, you have to find a way that you can relate to it. Because if you have no, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, this is something I always think about. In college, we did Spring Awakening. And I played Venla. Now she has like a little bit of a masochistic behavior, and she wants to explore that. Yeah. My goodness, for the life of me, I was like, why? Who wants to feel pain? Like I could not So I had to like kind of explore like, what do I want to feel? What are things in life that I want to feel and I kind of want to live through? So again, you have to find something that you can grasp onto so it's truthful.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's a whole other process, right? The fact that creating a character and to make it likable for the audience, you know, that's really cool.
Absolutely.
And it's really interesting and also funny at the same time that whenever you get the chance kind of to feel relatable with the villain, you know, because then you will ask yourself, like, am I a good person or not, you know?
The villains are the best. And listen, and if you can like have a little bit of that villain that's relatable and likable, that's when you know you do your job well.
Yeah, which I do think that we all have that kind of villainous inside, you know?
Absolutely.
I think we all have them. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. But like, tell me, like, do you have like a like how you usually get ready before going on stage? Do you have like, let's say like a specific ritual, or like is there like one thing you always do before going on stage?
Going on stage. So I mean, I don't go on stage as much anymore, but before, you know, I actually have had a few stage auditions recently. Okay, maybe this is weird, but I totally brush my teeth before I go on stage. I'm like, I don't know why. I want to have the freshest of breath, and I want to be like respectful to my scene partner. That's the thing. And then I will always like warm up my body. I want to make sure like I'm really physically warmed up, and then obviously like vocally warmed up. You know, and then I think sometimes I do the affirmations as well. Like I can't. It's been a while. Like I can't. It might vary from role to role, but like I'm worthy of this. Like this audience is really going to enjoy this, and or maybe even an affirmation that's very specific to that character.
Yeah.
So those are probably some things that I do before going on stage.
That's amazing, because like from all of the actors that I've interviewed, like everybody has like their own thing. For example, some of them will run a mile before going on stage. Some of them before going on stage, they will walk around the theater and do like loud noises to see like, okay, you know, like to check like the acoustics. Otherwise, like they would just eat something. Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting, like how everybody has like their own thing. Like there is not like in a specific way. You know what I mean? Which I think that maybe for a lot of people would assume that, you know, that whenever you will go on stage, you will do this thing and that's it. So it's so cool that when you manage to get like what set you in the mood, you're good to go. You know?
Yeah, I think for everybody it's different. And I think, you know, too, I think I also, again, I don't do it as much anymore with on stage,
yeah,
but
of course.
I always, definitely always like kind of say a prayer, like, hey, like, all right, God, let's make this a good one. Like, be with me. Let's do this. I always think of theater. What I love about theater, I always think of it as kind of like a roller coaster ride with characters. Yeah. Once you start, you're not getting off. You know, once you start, you're in there, and you know, the audience is with you, and you're just on the ride, and you're living the life of that character.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I do think theater it's amazing, and also, I mean, you can tell sometimes that we will see like a lot of actors, like even though they will be in these huge franchises, whenever they get the chance, they will go back to theater to do like a play or two, you know, just to get like that feeling again, that rush, that connection, right? That I think it is more that you get like a more connection with the audience on theater than on a cinema, you know? Yeah,
the adrenaline. I actually just saw something today. I mean, you probably heard. So we lost Sondheim, which is like, just I can't even process it still. You know, he said theater is like the only medium where the audience is literally with you. They're responding to you. Yeah. You know, they will react with you. You know, when you're watching TV, you know, so it's very special.
Yeah, absolutely. And what advice could you give to those who recently started their acting career on theater?
Oh my goodness. I would say just be in the moment. Like really listen on stage. I mean, as an actor, you know, we're always supposed to be really listening and engaging and include into our partner.
Sure.
But I'd say like that's the one thing that I do miss sometimes, you know, doing film and doing these self-tapes. If I have a reader, it's nice, but you know, now with Zoom, like I don't feel like sometimes I get to connect with people as much.
Yeah.
And that is just so special to have that on stage. So I'd say like really, you know, live in that moment. with your partner, with your scene partner, and then, you know, maybe don't be afraid to make choices in the rehearsal process. I think a lot of actors, especially beginning, they're scared, and I mean, I even have this tendency sometimes to make bold choices because we don't want to seem like weird or too out of the box. But I think that's the creativity of it.
Yeah, totally. I do believe that whenever you feel unsure or you feel nervous about doing something, then you should do it even more. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that whenever you get that feeling, it's like, it's basically like, I would take it like life telling you that this is the way, do it. You know, like do it now and do it like a lot more, because as a personal experience, that whenever I get that feeling, that nervous, like that anxious, that if I should do something or not, whenever I take that step on it and do it, I actually love it, and I ended up doing it more and more and more and more, you know?
Exactly. And I would say, like, for me with acting, and I think more of these experiences have happened in theater, but, you know, occasionally on camera too.
Yeah, of course.
The less I'm really in my head, or, you know, I'm not thinking about the next line or whatever, I'm living in that moment.
There you go.
It's just so authentic that it's almost like I almost call it like the blackout after. Like, I almost don't remember what happened because I'm so in it. You know what I mean? Like, so that's something that I would say, just go for it. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you realize it's over, you can't believe it's done. I mean, you know, you're just like, wait a minute, it's over now? You know, like, you want more.
Right? Yeah.
It's so amazing. And moving a little bit now, so you also do voiceover now, right? So tell me, like, what are some of the things that you enjoy about doing voiceover, and also, like, how you usually prepare before a voiceover session?
Yeah, so voiceover, I've always done a little bit of voiceover.
Yeah.
I think it's very cool. I would love to do more. It's on the goals list.
Yeah, totally.
I would love to take some, like, classes and workshops. I think voiceover is neat because it's really interesting. You're, like, taking away I'm, like, a very animated person, so I've learned in voiceover, it's like, wow, I'm taking all of this away, and it's just, you know, just my voice. That's kind of, so I almost feel like when I do have a voiceover audition, I almost treat it like, I almost think of it as like theater. Like, it's weird. I'm like using my hands and stuff to really, like, feel it, because you have to hear that in the voice, and you have to hear the intentions and everything like that. It's interesting, when I do have a voiceover audition, I think it takes me so long because I'm so specific. Like, I want to hear every little, like, thing in my voice. So again, it's something that I'm exploring more and more. But before a voiceover audition, you know, I think everyone should warm up, and, you know, even if it's like commercial copy, it's like, what's your intention? What are you doing it? What are you doing with it? What are the thoughts behind it? And I think that's important. And then I know with voiceover, it's great because a lot of times you can send 2 takes and you want them to be very different.
Totally. It's amazing. And I think also the fact that you can get the chance to be anything. You know, you can be an animal, you can be a monster, you can be a goblin, you can be a puppy, you can be, like, everything, you know?
Yeah, so cool.
That's so amazing. And, like, moving a little bit to your performance on TV and film, let's start with the TV ones. So you were in Wild West Chronicles and People Magazine Investigates. Tell me about those projects, but also about your characters.
Yeah, so Wild West Chronicles, I was really lucky. We shot it the end of 2020. Okay. So that was nice, you know, in a crazy year. I had the call back in July, and then I got the, like, call in November. Hey, you booked the show. Like, so cool. It was a small part, but that was really cool. And what's so great about the show is it's just real stories from the Wild West, and they have people you know, recreating them, and but with dialogue, and I'm sure there's some, like, fiction to it, but they do a really good job, and I think they're in season 2. But that was really fun. I enjoyed it. And then People Magazine Investigates, I think I did that, like, several years ago. That was, like, tough because those are, like, you know, real stories of people with their tragedies, and that's definitely like I would say like a more somber set.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with these tragedies of real people. So
yeah, totally.
but that was interesting. I did that, and then actually earlier this year, I did do several days on a documentary for NBC Peacock called Dr. Death. So it was also like a recreation.
Oh.
But yeah, there was no lines or anything. So it was more like, MOS. So no lines, but recreation and that kind of thing. So that was cool. But yeah, and I can't really talk about it, but I do have another little show coming up. So I'm excited.
That's so cool. Yeah. I do think that whenever you get the chance, like, to play like this, like these stories or this project based on real stories, must be real humble, right? And that it puts you like on a different perspective. You know what I mean? That to be, the fact that you're gonna play somebody else moment, which it was hard, and now you're playing it. It must be tough. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and then with these shows, they interview the real people.
Yeah.
Who are kind of, so it's pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow. And like, what are some of the things that could be different from a set or a TV show than a movie one?
I think sometimes, I still, like, with TV would love way more experience, but it's coming. I'm putting it out there. It's coming. I feel like maybe they move a little faster with TV. Okay. I could be wrong, but sometimes, and it also just depends on the budget and the time limit and location, everything, for the project. But I know with, like, a lot of these shows, they have, like, okay, we're shooting this episode, and this is the time allotted, and this is the location here. So I kind of feel like there is a little bit of, like, and then with shows, you have to, like, make sure, there's already, like, such a storyline in place, and you have to do your research with, with understanding the character, how your character fits into that, and it could have been a show that's on for, like, 8 seasons. So it's definitely a very different, I'd say, process as an actor.
Totally. Yeah. Wow. And for the films, you were in Chuck, Grief, Rage, and Her Keepers, Roomies, Pretty, the Occult Son, Artifact. Artifact. There you go. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, what are some of the highlight moments that you can remember from those projects?
Oh goodness. So, well, it's really cool. The Occult Son right now, we shot that. Patrick Murphy is the director, and we shot that near the end of 2019.
Wow.
And then, but it's cool. It's in a bunch of festivals right now, so it's doing really well, which I'm so happy for him. And I did shoot a feature called Eddie during the pandemic, which is nice, and that is about to enter festivals as well.
There you go.
And let's see. I'm trying to think of specific moments from different ones. Oh, okay. So the first one, it's actually called The Cuck, is one of the first short films that I filmed here in LA that I was cast in. And it was a USC film, but it was cool. It's a musical film.
Okay.
And it's a puppet film. So I have some training in puppetry, so I got to use my puppetry training, and I got to record in the studio an original song. So that will, like, forever be kind of like, hold a special place in my heart. And I actually recently ordered a puppet because I want to continue my training in my puppetry. Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah. And another one that I was kind of near and dear to me was Grief, Rage, and Her Keepers. The director, writer, he wrote it because his mom had dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
So that's who I played. And it was just, like, really interesting to learn about what that all entails. You kind of hear, like, you know, maybe what people like say it is. You know, they used to call it multiple personality disorder, but now it really has a name. And, you know, it's not really a black and white type of disorder. It can be looked at in a bunch of different ways. So it was just something that I really had to learn and try to understand. And yeah, I enjoyed that. It was tough. It was a challenge, but I liked really sitting down with him and trying to hear like what he went through growing up.
Wow. Now, Natalie, tell me, like, what motivates you? I mean, we all have those days, right? In which we will, it's not like our best moments, but we will kind of asking ourselves if we should continue doing what we love or not. You know, either. I think that happens that whenever you will start to compare, you know, with other one that you know, and you're like, why that person has like more stuff than me, you know, like all of that toxicness, like how you deal with that to be out of it and to just be focused on what you love the most.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've always been a super motivated person.
There you go.
And I would say to do this career, I mean, to really be like, I'm an actor and I'm putting this as a priority, you just have to be self-motivated. I mean, no one is sitting here telling me every day, like, hey, wake up, get this audition done, like, you know, check these emails, send this off, update this. You know, I have like agents and managers and you know, they'll send me stuff, but you know, I have to be self-motivated. But I think it's just a testament to how much I love it, how much it's a part of me, how much I want to do it. I also like, you know, I'm from the Midwest, and I think there's a lot of cool things about LA, but I think LA's tough. I think it's expensive. I wouldn't want to be here if it was like having some sort of like reason in the industry and work in the industry. So yeah, I would say that's, I mean, you just have to really want it bad enough. I remember we had some people visiting my college when I was in college, and they said, if you can do anything else, like if you don't want to be an actor, you can do anything else, do it. Because this is tough. This is so tough. And I think like there's part of me that could see myself doing other things that I might enjoy, but then it would be just like a gaping hole. So that's why, you know, and the comparison thing is real. I mean, yeah, there are many times I find myself, oh my gosh, why am I not here? Or why am I haven't booked this or whatever? And it happens all the time. But then you gotta like, my thing is like count my blessings. Like, what are my blessings in life? Like, what have I been able to do? Like, my goodness, I'm living in LA and I'm like able to work as like an actress. Like, you know, maybe it's on some smaller things here and there, but like, I'm just like, I'm getting to do what like I used to dream of, you know, like as a little girl in Indiana. You know what I mean? Like with my cornfields.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. That is so cool. If you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, or even a book, why not? What would be the title of it?
The title. Woo! This one, I would have to say, every day I'm hustling.
And would it be like a movie, TV show, or book?
Oh, movie, TV show, or book. Oh, maybe a book. I would write a book.
I like it.
Yeah, I would write a book. I always wanted to write a book about like just the random things that happened to me and the embarrassing moments in my life, and you know, just the things like, yeah, I would write a book.
You have a title already.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. That would be cool.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. It sounds like a very cool title, you know, because you want to know what she's hustling. You know? Yeah,
and then I want there. I want. Mary Elise is gonna read it. Yeah. I want there to be a button with the song. You know, the song "Every Day I'm Hustling." You know, or I think that's the song. Yeah.
That's cool. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
At some point. Yeah, I like it. I like that.
Great.
And like my last question here, Natalie, tell me, what can we expect from you in the future?
What can you expect? All right, let's be bold here. Yes, you can expect more feature films.
There you go.
Going to be more feature films, which I do have some on the docket, so that's going to happen.
Awesome.
More more TV, which is also going to happen, and even more than that. And as far as just my own personal growth, I think just being even more confident in my craft and just becoming a better actor. And as I practice and get better and work, it just becomes like, it's never easy. We're, when we're in a scene, we're thinking about every little kind of thing we're doing. And then, at some point we kind of let that go. But like, just to really improve, like, as much as we want to book the jobs and that is a part of it, and it's the business, but it's just like, my goodness, you just don't want to be as good as Meryl Streep. I mean, I'm not saying like I want to be Meryl Streep, but that's the goal. I just want to be like, when I get things, I want to know that like I earned them because I'm the best person for the job. Yeah. The best person for that role, and I made good choices, and I did something creative and beautiful with the scene. So that's what you can expect from me.
There you go. Preach on that. I like it. I like it. I'm super sure at the end of the day, you're gonna, it's obvious that your career is gonna be in this huge epicness at some point. I'm super sure about it. And when that happens, I would say, I knew it. We're gonna see you everywhere at some point, because the fact that you, and I've said it before, but the fact that you are honest in what you do, and you are like, no matter what, you always manage to give 100% into either the film or the show or whatever. The fact that you are, that is what you love, I think that's even more special. And us, the audience, we can totally spot whenever a performance is real and when it's not real, and the fact that you are doing it is really cool. I can't wait to see more of your awesome work in the future, and also your book. Remember that, maybe for 2025 or something like that, get your book. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you do. As I said here, your story is inspirational. The fact that you have traveled basically everywhere, and you go from New York to Alaska to LA now. So many places here and there. So many fun stories I bet that you have, and the fact that you continue pushing it and you continue pursuing it, that's even more. That's awesome, basically.
Thank you. I so appreciate that, and that's just like, it's just like nice to hear. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Sometimes it's interesting. I always kind of say that like an actor's life and career is, even though we are working with people when we're on set and we have that little special day on set, we're always auditioning by ourselves, and it can be a little lonely, and sometimes there's a lot of rejection, and it's nice to have a little encouragement. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Keep doing what you do, and also, you have like a lot of people supporting you, because as I said before, what you do, it's amazing, and you should definitely continue doing it, because you inspire people, and I do believe also actors in general do inspire, because at the end of the day, you guys are living proof that dreams come true. Of course that there's like a lot of hard work and a lot of awkward moments here and there, but like, no matter what, you manage to keep giving us your best every single time when it's time to perform, and that takes like a lot of courage. And yeah, keep doing what you do. And also, I want to thank those who are watching. If you're watching this later on YouTube or listening this later on Spotify, normally what I would say is for you to put pause, then leave a like, subscribe, follow, and then hydrate, and then go follow Natalie. Leave a million likes. Let's make sure that the whole world knows about this amazing, talented super actress, and then come back. And again, Natalie, thank you so much. Before I send you off, I need to send you off properly in an epic way again. So, there you go. And keep rocking, keep being this amazing, super badass actress you always are. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.